And Bryan Barrett joins us on that Gilly Crane hotline as we lifted up the phone to reach out to Bryan Barrett. He is the play-by-play voice for WGNS, and he saw a doozy tonight at the reservation as Riverdale held off Siegel. Bryan, did you finally get warmed up and dried out and all that sort of good stuff?
I did, and my hand is so tired. I've been taking notes about Bermuda grass and native to tropical and subtropical countries.
Yes.
And,
yes.
You know, more sensitive to cold temperatures. I got all that. I mean, you just learn a lot on the post-game show.
Well, now, you know, you've got the Martin's gardening show on your station. If ever they can't make it, me and Coach Watson, we'll come in and do the show.
I think so.
We could do it.
Weaving Watson in the morning.
Weaving Watson.
That sounds good.
Weaving Watson in the mornings. We'll talk about stands of grass, and we could do that. Riverdale with a new quarterback has a good night by, I think it was the Davis kid that had a big night for Riverdale tonight.
Yeah, you know, the field conditions were just terrible all night long. I mean, in the press box it was mighty nice, but
was it?
outside it was awful. I mean, just torrents of rain for most of the game. And like I said in the pregame show, the team that could run the football effectively, I thought would win, and Riverdale did that to move to 3-0. Savion Davis had 105 yards, or make that 186 yards on 27 carries, and Michael Scruggs came in on 9 carries with 42 yards. So that 1-2 punch right there behind a great offensive line, and Taylor Yancey at quarterback got the job done for the Warriors.
It was an interesting game. Coach Copley's done a great job at Siegel. They came in at 1-1, and I kind of think that really if you lose this game, the chances of making it into the top 4 are a lot slimmer. You have less room for error. This gives you a little bit of breathing room for playoffs, doesn't it?
Well, I kind of thought coming in, you know, maybe a five-team race for the 4th playoff spot.
Right.
You know, that had legitimate shots at a playoff spot. And so by losing to one of the teams that will likely be, you want to keep them behind you. But
right.
With Siegel's loss, Riverdale kind of leapfrogs them in the standings. And so it's going to take a couple of losses that for Riverdale to fall back behind Siegel. So, yeah, I think it makes it very difficult. I think that makes Siegel's game with Cookeville very, very important coming up for a playoff spot. And, you know, the Cavaliers, I think, are going to make some noise in the region this year, and everybody seems to be chasing number 1 and number 2 in the state.
Yeah, for sure. Dennis Weaver, Eric Keith talking to Bryan Barrett, the play-by-play voice for WGNS on the Friday Night Thunder Scoreboard Show.
Bryan, where are you guys heading next week?
Well, speaking of Coach Watson, we're going to go over there and look at his beautiful grass and grassy field over
as
at
well
the Inferno.
You should.
And looking forward to that county matchup. It's not a region game, but it is a county game, and we love doing those when 2 county teams play each other. So, be our first chance to see both of those teams this year.
All right. Well, you know, he's going to have that roller out. They're going to get the roller out, you know, and roll it, and then get the real mower on it and kind of fluff it a little bit. So, you know, and I'm sure he's going to sand any divots that he's got too.
Well, I'm sure that that could be used all around Middle Tennessee because, I mean, Riverdale's field, I'm sure that they'll be working on it as well, but it really took a beating. But I was talking to David Limbaugh in the press box. It's, you know, you've got Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday that teams are playing on those fields, you know. And so a lot of people think it's just on Friday night, but between Pee Wee and middle school football and all kinds of other things that go on there, it's busy. So you know, I'm glad the folks really work hard on those fields to make them look good. They've got their work cut out this week, I think.
Well, nobody works as hard as you do, my friend. Talk about the Coach's Show in the morning where folks can hear it.
Well, we'll be on all 3 frequencies, our FM 101.9 and 100.5, AM 1450. WGNSsports.com. You can find all the information about the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. We start at 8 o'clock and wrap up 3 hours later with MTCS Cougar Corner and all of our local coaches in between. Looking forward for a big day.
Get a nap.
Okay. Nap sounds good. Yeah.
All right. We'll talk to you again next week, Brian. Have a great evening, okay?
I'm going to dream about grass.
And a good Labor Day.
You too.
All right.
Dennis.
Take care. That is Bryan Barrett with WGNS.